This is Friday Night Fever Afterburn, sponsored by Arena Comics and Gaming.
Hey y'all, welcome back to week 8 of Friday Night Fever Afterburn. I'm Delaney Vega, joined by
Karli, Koskovich, and we were just talking about how week 8, it's insane. This season's so fast. I feel like, I don't know if anybody else feels like that, but this is actually mind-blowing how fast the season's been going.
crazy fast season.
But I feel like tonight was a big turning point, honestly, for a lot of teams.
I think we saw a lot of blowouts, a lot of teams.
A lot of shutouts, to be honest.
Yep.
So we'll get right into that. Do you want to start off with some scores?
Yeah, let's go to that first page if we have it. Perfect. North Bay Haven, Rutherford, that's the game that I was at just down the street over at Tommy, 49-14. That was a running clock in the second half. Karli was over, Freeport, South Walton, another running clock second half, 50-9.
That was a crazy game.
Chipley and Port St. Joe, 29-14, one of the closer games we'll actually see tonight. Liberty County and Cottondale, 38-14.
Yeah. And then we have Niceville and Mosley. That was last night, and that went into overtime. And Mosley came out on top, 42-36. Then we have Mariana over in Leon, and Leon took that one 35-6. And Holmes County came out big tonight with a shutout over Vernon, 68-0. And then last night as well was Bozeman and Destin. Bozeman coming back to win that one, and that was 22-15.
Wow. And another shutout.
Wow.
Youngstown rolling through week 8 now, 74-0. Osceola Christian over Graceville, 49-0. Bay and West Florida overtime as well, 38-7. I think that was first overtime, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that was the first. I think, yeah. Don't quote me on that, actually.
Yeah, don't quote me that actually either. And then Arnold traveling over to Fort Walton Beach, a really close game over there, 14-12.
Wow, I'm sure there's a lot of conversations going on in that locker room.
Yeah.
And then we have Jefferson County and Sneads. I believe it was the other way around. I believe Sneads won over Jefferson County, so it was 39-6. And then we have Wewa Hitchka, Franklin County putting up 51 over the Gators, 20. And then Pensacola Catholic in a district game over Walton, and that was 24-7, Pensacola Catholic.
A lot of high-scoring games, especially the one over at Tommy Oliver tonight, if we want to go ahead and pull out of, getting that fixed. Heck yeah. Right on
Perfect.
spot.
There we go. That's great.
Right on spot. 39-6. Sneads over Jefferson County. And the Rutherford Rams over at Tommy Oliver taking on North Bay Haven Buccaneers. That's the game that I went to. Like I said, a running clock in the second half. High scoring game. So tonight we are joined by head coach Albert Floyd Jr. from the Rutherford Rams. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well. How are we doing?
Well, you snapped the North Bay Haven 3-game winning streak, and that has not been a thing in a very long time. So do you have any post-game thoughts so far?
I mean, a lot of it was just, North Bay Haven has been doing well, and it's been good that those guys have been able to, get some wins and with all the things that has been going on with their program and as far as the coaching thing and changes and all of that sort. So it was big for them, but we really was focused on us. We don't want to beat ourselves, and I feel like tonight, we did what we needed to do by focusing on ourselves and, correct the mistakes and trying to be efficient on both sides of the ball.
That's great. Do you think anything offensively that stood out to you tonight?
I mean, man, a lot less false starts, a lot less holding, just far as getting to our depths on our routes, making sure we're getting our correct reads with our quarterbacks and our running backs, making sure that we're doing a lot of blocking on the backside and not just standing there and then, protecting the guy in the pocket and letting him be able to step up and then break the pocket a few times to be able to give him a little time to do some work. And I was excited and happy for the efficiency that our guys showed.
I loved it.
Yeah, and I know you guys kind of started running away with that even just in the first quarter, but I heard you yelling from the sideline, we're taking this all the way to the fourth, taking this all the way to the fourth. It's a really great mindset to have those guys really keep their heads down and keep playing. Is that kind of something that you've been preaching to them, just still keeping their heads down? Do you think they kind of executed that well?
Yes, ma'am. And, when you're trying to change culture, those are the things that you want the guys to see on film. Those are the things that you want the fans and, the sports writers to be able to see when it comes down to, just good culture and efficiency. But when you're dealing with a young team like we only have 5 seniors, and, everybody know about number 1 and number 6 as far as Keziah Rochelle and Braylon Hurd, but then we got some some young guys with Jamar Youngblunt, Joaquin H., Jaleel Reed, freshmen and sophomores that are making big plays. And we want to keep, hammering home the culture thing to those guys. So when they do get older, that's a lot less things that we have to continue to say. Those are things that those guys are kind of say for us and do for us. So that's why we kind of say we take them to the fourth quarter, and also giving those guys on the other side of the ball, as far as North Haven, respect that they're going to continue to play hard, and regardless of what's going on in the game, anything can happen. So until the game is all said and done, you got to keep on pushing and try to finish it off, and that's what we did.
Awesome. I know North Bay Haven's quarterback Caleb Mazinski loves to go look wide. That's always going to be his first possession. He loves looking wide. So how do you think on the defense you guys are kind of preparing for that?
Man, give a shout out to my defense coordinator, JV and Elliott. Did a pretty good job as far as putting in the game plan. He kind of started putting in a little bit of the game plan for North Bay Haven last week, as far as adding a couple extra looks and things like that to try to pressure the guy, to try to keep him in the pocket and things like that. And we know if we can get pressure on him and keep him in their lanes, and just keep him from getting out the side of the pocket, that might get him frustrated a little bit. Might have to throw it off the mark a little bit, and it proved to be, golden tonight as far as doing all. So it's always exciting whenever you execute the game plan and it goes as you thought, because week in and week out, we always feel like we're calling a game plan that's going to help us win. And, we're going in there to win the football game. And then anytime that it, manifests the way it did, it's always good. And, I'm proud of those guys, as far as, the offensive coordinator, assistant head coach Matt Knauss, and then the defense coordinator, J.V. Elliott, and then the rest of my guys. And everybody, do what they need to do. And, with a young team, it's always, pulling your hair out a little that we do have left. So it's always good when you can get a W, and especially in the fashion that we did on homecoming tonight.
I love it. Yeah, homecoming making it special. So,
yeah.
I wasn't at that game. I just want to kind of hear about the energy from the stadium tonight.
Man, I'll be honest with you, man. It was the class of '75, the 50-year reunion. I feel like that brought life to us. You had the 30th year reunion for several people, and it was just I just feel like the love and the pride, I do think it's unmatched. And I'm a little biased because I'm the head coach, but I do feel like we felt the love. The guys felt good seeing all the fans and seeing the older ones coming back, and even some of the recent future history guys, as far as 2024, 2025 class and things like that coming back, and the guys did what they need to do. And I feel like they always want to be seen, but especially when you're doing the right thing, man, just to seeing the glows on them guys' faces and tonight, and then the parents and everybody, it was good, but it's back to work, so you're gonna see a mellow tone from me. I feel good on the inside, but at the same time, you never can get too high or get too low, but you need to focus on what you got to do, and we got another one to go out and win.
Awesome.
Well said. All right.
And I know you have a really young team. You said you only had 5 seniors. How do you think they're kind of helping add to that culture? You think they're kind of taking these young guys under their belt pretty well so far?
Man, I will say that it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes those young guys can pull them down and have them joking and playing, but they do love this. This is a really unique group, but a really good group. These guys are growing together. They really love each other, so it's really like big brothers picking on little brothers. And, when they do flip the switch, like Zion Rochelle and Braylon Hurd did tonight, our young guys feed off those guys. And when those young guys, they got the respect from those old guys. And, when you're coaching a football team, it's kind of hard to get respect from the seniors when you're a freshman or a sophomore. But those guys that can ball as sophomores and freshmen, those guys respect their game. And, they had to grow up early, but those seniors, they're showing leadership. But when you only have 5 seniors, you got to do more coaching when it comes down to leadership and culture. But those guys are right there with us, and it's not always easy, but we drum it home consistently, whether they like it or not. And they come to us and they hug us, even though we give them tough love, and that's just where we at with it. So I'm proud of those seniors for leading this young team.
I have a question about Jaleel Reed. I don't know if you want to save this one for a little bit later, but he's averaging 73.7 yards rushing per game, and he's a sophomore. I feel like that obviously takes so much confidence to be able to put up those numbers. And you guys, you're not having the easiest season, so him being able to still put up 73 yards averaging per game, what does that say about him?
I'll say a few words, and then we can pass it over to the offensive coordinator. But last season when he was a 14-year-old freshman up until October the 25th when we played against Bay High, he showed some good strides. And we had a decent offensive coordinator last year that he trusted, and, he made those strides with that guy. And then, this year, as far as adding Coach Matt Knauss on to, a little bit more experience also, And the guy, we got to really get him to learn to trust us when it comes down to protecting himself from hits and things like that. So we knew what he could do running the football, and so it is impressive when it comes down to the 70-something yards a game. But the most impressive one is tonight is he kind of protected himself a lot from getting those hits that he don't need. And sometimes garbage time, and sometimes times you got to make an executive decision. Hey, I got to live to fight another down, and he's continuing to learn how to play that position. That's what he wants to play in college, and he knows. Coach K works with him week in and week out. And my wife said something today like, "Hey, we 10 for 10 on slide, and he did a good job." So when she noticing those things and he knows those things, and hey, coach, good job coaching him up, and Jaleel, good job as leading the fort, doing what you need to do, trusting us, and believing in those young guys. And that's what we at with that. So
we do have offensive coordinator Matt Knauss here, but let's get into the highlights, and when we come back, we're gonna hear from Coach Matt Knauss. So.
Awesome. Yeah, right off the bat, I have Reed going over to Kalia Baker, I believe that is. Great. It seemed like the chemistry was really on for him and everyone tonight. Honestly, he could put that ball up almost to anyone, and they were finding it. And right up the field, they're going to go ahead and go for that touchdown. It's really quick. Honestly, just back-to-back, drive after drive. And I know that you ended up picking up possession again after a fumble as well. It was a really crazy fumble. And I just loved the energy as well tonight. There's that crazy fumble.
Yeah.
He got a horrible snap.
I think we get a shot of Coach in this too.
Oh, yeah. I was loving the energy. Well, I didn't expect that. I thought we were going way downfield. And yeah, that's what I ended up with. So I was super far away for that.
Right there.
And that's Rochelle, I believe, yes. And that's going right up the field. He was looking so clean tonight. Energy obviously super high up. These guys were looking super confident. I think that really added to that game tonight.
Yeah, no, I wish I could have been there. I mean, especially hearing with all of the energy just from homecoming and everything going on with just, like you said, the amount of Ram spirit that they had to have felt it on the field. And I mean, it'd be crazy to assume that didn't amp them up a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, when you're going into the locker room and it's 42-0, I think it was going into the halftime, you got to be feeling pretty good. I mean, I question what was talked about in that locker room. Was it just like keep doing what you're doing? Was it
we just this was a game that we really played together. Offensively, defensively, special teams wise. Guys were making plays. Guys were refusing to go down when they caught the football, ran the football, and Jaleel was extremely efficient tonight. He's a special player.
I want to talk more about Jaleel. Obviously, we can kind of piggyback off of what Coach Floyd already said, but just the confidence he already has as a sophomore. He's not the biggest guy, but he's going to do everything he can based on what I've seen to get the points on the board, to help his team move forward. And I just want to know who he is behind that mantra we see.
And a lot of people see the athleticism, the arm talent, but if you don't know Jaleel, you don't realize he's a genius. He's a really smart kid, not just on the football field, but in the classroom. Always does the right thing, always telling everybody else what to do. Example tonight, we worked on a blitz check all week. Our second touchdown, before I had a chance to call it, he recognized the defense, called the blitz check, and scored a touchdown.
Wow. To be able to do something like that as a sophomore in high school, what does that mean about him? Like you said, he's a genius, but just what would be the limits of that? Like,
there aren't any.
Yeah.
I mean, he really, he's got incredible arm talent, speed, power, and the intelligence to go with it. He's only a sophomore. He's got 2 more years, and
I also want to talk about Jamarian Blunt. Is that how you say it?
Yes. Freshman,
but he's in second place for rushing yards.
Yeah.
Let's learn about him.
There was a touchdown in that highlights towards the end, but we didn't make it there. But
okay, we cut back to chat too quickly.
That's okay. Well,
from Blunt?
I cut it from Fever. I let it run just a little too long as well. But yes, from Blunt.
Yeah.
I think it was right before I left.
That's awesome. I mean, we saw it in the highlights, but how was that touchdown?
I think it was a long throw. He was in the end zone. I believe that was in the second quarter.
Yeah, it was a crucial third down in the red zone. Kazan Rochelle had a good block on a crackdown, and we tossed it out to him, and he found the end zone.
That's awesome. Sorry, Continue.
Oh, just being a freshman, just having that field awareness and drive to get in the end zone, it's pretty helpful as an offense coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, your group of young players that are very smart, does that start with Jaleel, or what does that start with?
Oh, I mean, everything starts with Jaleel. He's the quarterback. The offense runs through him. He's going to make decisions out there that, we coach him to make. And, we trust him. We trust him to do the job.
And this is your first season as a Ram, so just kind of being here, what are some of the things that you've liked, and whether it's about the program or just something you're looking forward to improving, just kind of some of your thoughts here at week 8.
Well, I love being a Rutherford Ram. My boss is right. No, I really do. When I first got here a couple years ago, and I always respected Coach Floyd and his program, was happy to get the call to come help him build this program. And it has a bright future. We don't graduate a lot, but, we don't graduate a lot next year either. I mean, majority of our starters are freshmen and sophomores. And, awesome. They're out there fighting. They're learning to fight. And Coach says it all the time. If you bite as a pup, you're going to bite as a dog.
I love it.
That's exciting. I know probably 2-3 years from now, your offense is you're going to have this whole stack of playbook of these guys who are really, really smart and able to do pretty much anything. I mean, 3 years from now, where do you kind of see that offense being?
I would even say 2 years from
2
now,
years.
as with Jaleel being the senior.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary if you're not a Rutherford Ram. I'm telling you. Yeah.
You heard it first here.
Quote that.
And the thing we can always trust Jaleel with is he's going to do the right thing. He's surrounded with fantastic weapons. Zay Holmes, our other back, he's a sophomore. Caden Franks, a junior receiver, number 2. Kalai Baker's a sophomore, number 12. But he does have 2 senior targets right now that are special. Tonight they refused to go down when they caught the ball. Yeah. They play hard, and, we hope we can kind of roll this into the rest of the season.
Yeah, we need to get into some of the other highlights, but kind of just overall thoughts to just wrap up how you think your offense did tonight.
I thought we were extremely efficient. I don't think we punted tonight. We didn't punt tonight. We kept it rolling.
I was gonna say I didn't see any.
That's great.
Yeah, I thought we did well on third down. Executed the plays that were hard to execute. And those are the plays that this season we've had some trouble executing. Because
tonight was the night.
Yeah, it's not an easy offense, and we ask a lot of them, and they kind of answered the call this week, and extremely happy with it.
That's wonderful.
Awesome.
All right, yeah, we can get into the game I was at, which was South Walton, and I do want to say there were players from both Freeport and South Walton. I'm not going to name them on here, but they were both not in the best. They were both injured, and so we want to kind of take a minute to think about both those players, just in hope whatever team, wish them well. So do we have those highlights? Okay, awesome.
And coaches, if you also have any comments,
please,
see, make sure to jump in.
Right away we get a pick from the one and only Julius Miles, and that pretty much started the momentum of the game, putting them back in Seahawk territory. But right after that, it's actually going to be Connor Rooney, the linebacker, the junior linebacker. He takes it all the way back, and this is going to end up in a pick 6, and this will be the first points. I kind of got lost in the crowd there for a second, but first 6 points of the game, South Walton, and
flashing lights, touchdown.
This was amazing. Nate Leach, he did the onside kick, and he knows they got the ball back, so he's just telling the refs, we got it back. And then it ends up in this touchdown by William Justice. And honestly, South Walton started rolling. It was a tough first quarter, but I think by the end of the first quarter, which this is still actually the first quarter, but everybody was ready to just throw down. It was a battle, and I know that the score it doesn't really reflect based on it being 50-9, but it was a battle. And I mean, obviously these being 2 county teams, it was quite personal. We had
Looked like they were chirping each other out.
There was a little bit chirp, and I would also say from the student sections on each side, there were some chirps back and forth there. But it was a fun game to be at. But yeah, we are thinking about both of those players, and if you guys have any updates on either one of those players from both teams, please let us know, because we wish them a safe recovery. So that was the game I was at tonight, and
I'm telling you, man, JD Brown, he knows how to find his receivers.
He does, and honestly, also I think he's learning more to take it. His run game has gotten so much better. I think now that he has kind of realized that I'm running this team. I am now a junior. He's been the quarterback since his freshman year. I mean, second half of his freshman year. And so now that he is in this leader position, he's really, I think at the beginning of the season, he wasn't really taking initiative. He was kind of trying to feel it out, be this leader. And now we're in week 8, and this is team. And he can run. He'll hand it off. He's great. Honestly, like when he does his handoff fake throws, like they'll fool me. I'm like, but I'm just saying he's gotten so much better since the first game I watched, and I only think he's going to get better because he's only a junior. He's going to have another season, so he's going to definitely be a threat to
So were you saying he was a freshman on varsity?
Yeah, he started, but he didn't start as a freshman. He came in toward the end of the season as a freshman and started playing, and then sophomore year, he was smaller, but he did okay, and I think now that he's grown, he's gotten so much better. I know he spent a lot of time over the summer at a bunch of different football camps, and you can see like he's improved a lot, and I think it's only going to just get better. But we can head out to Chipley.
Yeah, Port St. Joe, Chipley.
Port St. Joe and Chipley.
Now, I wasn't at this game. I don't think I've actually seen Chipley in person. I've seen Port St. Joe, though.
We saw Chipley in week 0, actually.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
When I was following you around.
Yeah,
still.
right when Delaney was taking over this position. But yeah, we have Corbin Butts, absolute athlete.
Yeah.
He can be taken down in every which way and still pop back up like nothing happened. A little Cam Scattaboo action. Just kidding.
Yeah, and then there it is, right off. A fumble off of the quarterback, and they're going to go right back up into the red zone. And
then it'll finish off.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and convert that with a rushing touchdown.
Eli Harris in that quarterback position. Obviously, he's really had to be the makeshift quarterback for Port St. Joe this month, or not just this month, this season.
I was going to say for a while now.
Since week 2 against Holmes County. But I have to check on this, so please don't quote me, but I do believe it's time's expiring, and we're going to see Jacob Hensley back out there soon enough, because I do remember it being a 6-week injury on week 2.
Awesome. And that was Corbin Butts again. Takes 4 Chipley guys to bring him down. Like you said, that kid is just unstoppable. But Port St. Joe isn't going to come out on top of this. They only had 2 touchdowns. Chipley is going to take that away. I know you've talked about Jacoby McKinney before. That guy was just plowing up the field.
He's a big running back too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see much of him through these highlights that we got, but it looked like he was running up the field really well.
There he is right there.
Yep, there it is.
For running back, his size is definitely... Yeah, well, it takes a couple defenders to at least get him down. So, but yeah, final.
One of the closer games that we've seen tonight.
Tonight, at least, yeah, tonight was ridiculous in scores. But we can move on to that Liberty County and Cottondale game out in this. Yeah, this is.
What's up?
This is.
This is
last week.
Port St. Joe and Rutherford.
Yeah. Appreciate you putting that one
So
up.
we gotta get that game off ASAP. We apologize, everybody. He's like, take it down.
Never coming back.
Hey. Well, that was a technical error, but that's okay. We'll get into the game we were supposed to show, the Liberty County and Cottondale game that was over in Bristol tonight. Sorry.
Are you able to pull that up, or should we go to
If not, we can just go into other scores.
Okay.
Or go into the game.
We can go to Thursday Night Lights.
We can go back in time.
Really quickly, talk through those.
Yeah, we'll just cover those really quick, and then we'll get into other scores. And
Did
we'll
you all happen to catch any of those Thursday night games?
I was at Bozeman's.
You're at Bozeman?
Bozeman.
Did you see me? I was at Bozeman.
I was Yeah. Scout.
Any
kidding.
thoughts on Bozeman? Who was it? Destin? I've never seen Destin play, so.
Yeah, I mean, Destin had a really good running back. You know, they played hard, but
I don't know if the Bozeman defense played like really well or if the Destin Sharks were just not great, but I remember seeing them back in spring ball. They were Destin was kind of, it's predicted to be a force to be threatened or reckoned with, and now Bozeman's taking them down. So I mean, obviously you said you were there, so what did you think on Bozeman's defense? Obviously you guys are going to face it next week.
yeah, it's a pretty good defense. You know, Kevin Pettis does a good job. You know, and you know, I coached with him last year at Arnold.
Yeah.
You know, so we know each other very well, offense and defensively. So, you know, it'd be a good matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
Should be
Looking
fun.
forward to
Is
it.
that a Thursday night game?
That is a Thursday night game at
Tommy.
Yeah. All right. Do we have those Bozeman highlights? Perfect. All right. Yep. Bozeman. It was homecoming for them last night as well. We have Hayden Gay on the ball, and he hits John Hansen. And it didn't really look like there was much action from Bozeman at the very beginning because the Sharks kind of, you could see, the offense was kind of running around the Bozeman defense a little bit. But eventually the Bucks, they got going. And when they got going, I mean, obviously they ended up coming back in the second half and winning the game. And but I really thought John Hansen, which number 0, you can't really see him in this play right now. Yeah, this was a tough
Off to the races. He's going all the way up that sideline.
I really think John Hansen is one of the players people need to watch out for. And he's a big, I believe he plays both sides of the ball, so I don't want to be incorrect on that one. But he's a threat on both sides. I'm sorry, I just said that. But I think he's a running back. And I definitely think he's a really good player. And I think him and Hayden Gay, and then obviously he hits Wade Mitchell right here in the corner. And there are pieces of this team spread out everywhere that are so skilled. And I think now that once they get clicked, once this offense clicks, they are just unstoppable. And I think that's what happened in the second half. I'm sure Coach Pettis went in there and said, you know what, guys, this is not what we need to be doing. And second half, he whipped them up into shape and they came up on top. So, yeah, Bozeman took that one. And, yeah, we can get into the Mosley-Niceville game.
Niceville. Huge game. That was probably the most, okay, you can't even tell from here, but one of the most packed stadiums I've seen. I showed up literally maybe 3 minutes late, already missed a pick 6, and then they went for a 2-point conversion, didn't get it, so it was 6-0 Eagles right away. Mosley's defense was looking phenomenal. They were holding off Niceville. I was only able to stay until midway through the second quarter because Niceville is so far and we do have a 10 p.m. show. So that was unfortunate, and apparently I missed all of the action.
Well, the Mosley defense, you got a lot of that. And I mean, Wyatt Fleming, number 11, leads our metro area in tackles per game.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me, the fact that their defense just, and last year they lost to Niceville. So the fact that they're coming on top it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
honest.
overtime. It was a big battle. It was 16-13 when I left, and I believe Mosley ended up being up at the half. I guess Niceville came back somewhere in that third and fourth quarter, ended up tying it 36-36, and headed into overtime. But I will say, JP Holstenbach, I haven't had the opportunity to watch him too much, but he was looking really good. He was finding Jamarcus Halstead really well. Samuel Kism was running the ball really well for him as well, and Carson Griffin. I mean, when you have guys like that, I think you're sitting pretty comfortable.
He has
as a
weapons
quarterback.
on the ground. He has weapons out wide and within himself too. He can run as well. So I think obviously this game is such a rivalry between both of these teams. You ask whether it's Niceville fan or a Mosley fan. This is a game they look forward to. And this year it was the Dolphins. So it's pretty exciting.
I mean, that's awesome. Always to see.
And we can get into just some of the other scores from tonight. And if you guys have any comments on the scores, let me know. So yeah, we just talked about it. Mosley and Niceville. Mosley coming on top 42-36. Leon over Mariana 35-6. And Holmes County 68-0. Last night, Bozeman is 22-14. And then Delaney, you can do this next page.
Yeah, Bluntstown running through week 8. I mean, like we said, I don't think they've seen anybody that can really match up to them yet. So
Not
I would
yet.
love to see them eventually find
Who
someone
does
that they can
Bluntstown
match
have
up
next
to.
week? Hang on, let me look at who Bluntstown has.
But yeah, nonetheless,
Next
70-40, super high scoring game. I bet they had a lot of fun with that one.
Northview? What do we think about Northview?
Any thoughts?
I haven't seen them play.
Okay.
I've seen some of their scores. Bluntstown does look firing on cylinders right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Enough said. And we can get back to those scores.
And then it was back on the second page, if we can go back one. Perfect. Osceola Christian, I think that's how you say it.
Awesome,
Sorry.
Christian.
49-0, another shutout. 38-37, really close overtime game. Bay taking that one on the road over to West Florida. And Arnold, Fort Walton Beach. Arnold on the road again. Tough game, 14-12.
Yeah. And then we have Sneeds 39-6, and then Walton falling tonight to Pensacola Catholic Crusaders 24-7, and then Franklin County winning big over Wewa Hitchka 51-20. And then we can get into some of next week's games.
Yeah.
And yeah, hey Coach, you want to read this one off?
Yeah, we get to see Bozeman Bucks at Tommy Oliver Stadium. Coach KP.
KP.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
And we'll get some next week thoughts after we run through some of these.
Yeah.
Franklin County's heading over to Osceola Christian. Bluntstown again heading over to Northview. They're still undefeated,
Yeah.
so we'll see if we'll see if they keep it running. Cottondale versus North Bay Haven. North Bay Haven hosting that one. See if they'll come back from the loss tonight. Oh, you want to? Sorry, I don't know.
No, you're good. Rocky Bayou at Graceville, and then Walton and Bay, Holmes County, Mariana, and Destin at Chipley.
Yeah, and then Mosley's gonna head over to Arnold. Freeport on the road to Baker.
Wakulla.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. To South Walton. South Walton's looking pretty good lately, so
They're
we'll
looking
see if-
good. They're
we'll see
looking
if
solid. I
they'll
can say
keep
that
it running.
confidently. So.
Liberty County going over to Jefferson County.
All right, and then we have Lighthouse Christian versus Sneed, Central versus Vernon, and FAMU DRS versus Wewa Hitchka. All right, and do we have any final comments going into next week, whether it's
Something
from
to
you,
look
Coach
to.
Knauss, or you, Coach Floyd, whoever? He's grabbing the mic back.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations to Mosley High School and Bay High School for bringing home 2 district champions to Panama City. And regardless of how it turns out next week, I think we'll have 3 district champions coming from Panama City, and that's big time for our area.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Awesome. And then anything you think, sorry, just want to make sure. Okay, anything that you guys are specifically looking on, obviously, I'm not sure how much film you're going to watch after this week, but anything specific that you guys want to look forward to next week?
I mean, Coach K has already, pretty much talked about Coach KP's defense. Those guys are, disciplined. He teaches them a way you can look at the film and see exactly what's being coached and what's being taught out there. But I still want to give the offense a little kudos as far as having Hayden Gay out there doing his thing and those guys playing together. And, in the beginning I said that Mariana was a team to beat in our district, and up until they fell, they were. And now I think this is the district championship, and I do give props to those guys for doing what they're doing. It's going to be a hard-fought game, and I'm excited to see what it is when we experience this next week. And Thursday Night Lights, I think we should be the game of the week, because it's going to be a good one. And those guys will come out fighting hard, and on our side likewise.
We'll definitely be out there.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Perfect.
I know you've got a lot of people in the comments also saying, great job, Rutherford. Congrats, Coach Floyd. Congrats, Coach Floyd. Another one. Just letting you know. Got a lot of
Ram love out there.
A lot of Ram love tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we can say our goodbyes.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. We
Yeah.
really, really appreciate it. It's always great to have some inside thought about everything. And great game tonight as well.
We appreciate you
Congrats
having
on
us.
the win.
Yeah, we know it's a late night, so.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Do you want to say the honors? Say bye.
Well, thank you to you guys so much for joining us for week 8, and we hope to see you back here again around 10:45 for week 9.
And see you
Once
next
again,
week.
I'm Delaney Vega.
Karli Koskovich, and for Coach Floyd and Coach Knauss, we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds great.